What is up, YouTube? World War II Vietnam Boy here. And before I get started, I just want to say I'm really sorry for the lack of videos lately. I've just been tremendously busy with moving. First of all, I'm in a condo right now. Not just moving, but I've had wrestling camp, a lot of stuff, you know. So I've been pretty busy. I just got back from a reenactment yesterday, and we were doing the first ID, Battle of the Bulge. Obviously, you guys should know what the Battle of the Bulge is. But I'm going to be showing you what a guy in the first ID would have been wearing, most likely in the Battle of the Bulge, and how they were involved in the Battle of the Bulge. Now, the first ID saw combat throughout almost every operation in the ETO, whether it was North Africa, Sicily, Italy, France, Germany, everything. Belgium, all those places, which was the Battle of the Bulge. Okay, so during the Battle of the Bulge, the first ID was stationed or were at Bütgenbach. It was von Bütgenbach. It's a mouthful. Sorry to say, but that's where they were stationed. They were the 26th Infantry Regiment mostly, and they were fighting in the top corner of the Battle of the Bulge during the 80-mile offensive, where the Germans were attacking back to try and seize Antwerp, obviously. They hit really hard resistance. It was pretty harsh battle. A lot of the temperatures were below zero. Almost 90% of the first ID at that time was replacements. They were having a lot of casualties. So basically, they had to do a lot of things like put their heavy guns in front of the line, which was pretty unorthodox. It exposed them, but that's what they had to do because of the oncoming tanks. You know, the Tigers were overwhelming. Men with bazookas, almost suicide missions if you had a bazooka, which I was in a bazooka team this weekend. And the bazooka men were extremely brave men going out in the open, firing at tanks. It was really harsh battle. Wet, soggy. All the guys had to dig foxholes. Almost the only positive thing of the entire battle was the Americans had 2 days in advance to dig in, which allowed them to make foxholes in positions and so and such. But it was still a pretty awful battle, and yeah, so this is basically what they had. One thing that you probably are thinking, why am I not wearing double buckle boots? Although they were extremely common in the front lines during World War II, especially during the Battle of the Bulge, the first ID, if you were a survivor from D-Day and you were still in the Battle of the Bulge, you really didn't get much new stuff. The guys who were coming in with the new gear were mostly the replacements. So, although it was pretty rare, you do see guys wearing rough outs or service shoes. I mean, service shoes were pretty rare, but you still see guys wearing leggings, unless they had Mickey Mouse boots, which this was in the earlier stages of the Battle of the Bulge. But, I mean, a lot of times guys didn't really get all the new stuff that you see. I mean, I've seen pictures of guys wearing M41 jackets, and it's mid-Battle of the Bulge, so not everybody got all the new stuff. So, I will probably in the future be purchasing double buckles, but for now I'm going to have to use these. My unit does have an extra pair, but, so they're not mine, but I can always wear them. Anyway, let's get into it. I'm going to start with my jacket. So here we got the M40. This is an original M43 field jacket. I still got to get some patches for it and all that, but it's pretty nice. It is missing a few buttons. This one actually ripped off during the event, so I'll just sew that back on with my sewing kit. And I did purchase a hood for it. They weren't that common, the hoods, but if you had one, you were extremely lucky. Here we got my all-correct helmet. I do want to replace the band, though. It's a reproduction one. It's not the best, but everything else is original, so I can see besides the helmet, chin straps, and the liner and the sweatband. So yeah, it's pretty comfortable. I think also that I had to replace the nape strap, but besides that, it's pretty cool. Guys, one thing is, if you have a tan net on your helmet and you're thinking it's correct, it's really not. Guys didn't really see tan nets. I've never seen a picture of a GI wearing a tan net. On D-Day, they were issued these green ones. They were basically the same thing, but, I mean, you could look at these knots, and they're basically not even knots. You can put this way easier on your helmet. You could put it way tighter. The at-the-front ones make really thick, big knots, so it's extremely hard to put your liner in with it, especially if you have a reproduction liner, which this isn't, but anyway, so that's just a little quick thing on the nets. I have this net, and I also have the later war net, which could have been seen. I just wore that one instead of this one, but I'm going to probably wear this one, the next one, because we're doing these 4 times. This event happens 4 times in the summer. I'm going to 2 of them, which is pretty cool. Alright, so, moving on. We got my wool set. I mean, it was pretty rare, but you did sometimes see guys wearing their HBT pants if they survived from D-Day, and they still wouldn't have gotten their wools yet. It was seen, but it was extremely rare. Most likely you would have had your wools if you didn't just land with wools. So I got my size 32, I believe, wools. They're like my exact size. 34 inseam and 32 waist. So they're pretty tight on me. Yeah, so then we got my trouser belt for that. And we got my wool shirt with the correct wool patch and wool chevrons, probably first class. Then in my pocket, I keep my ID book. I need to fill the rest out. I don't have a picture yet. I'm trying to figure out how to do it, but I got my fingerprints and all that and good stuff. Got my P38 can opener. And I got my handkerchief, whatever you want to call it. And I still got to get my dog tags. That's one thing I need to get. Got my HPT cap. You mostly see guys wearing Jeep caps or A4 caps in the Battle of the Bulge, but I just carry it on me. Got my Jeep cap. It's pretty small. I did have a white helmet cover, but I don't know what I did with it. I made it at my house out of a sheet like the guys would have done. Oh, cool. A guy in my gunnery sergeant, or in the Army, though, wasn't really gunnery sergeants, but he's a pretty cool guy. He had like a sheet, and he made a smock out of it, like what they would have done. That's what they would have done. They weren't issued snow camo like the Germans. They would go through cities, they would take sheets and stuff, and they would improvise. So instead of going out and buying, I don't think it's that much money. I think it's like $7 to get a helmet cover that's a sheet. But I mean, instead of buying it, they wouldn't have a perfect seam down the middle, you know, like you see if you buy a helmet cover. They weren't even like properly sometimes fit on the helmets. They just threw them on just for quick camouflage. So I mean, it's even more accurate if you do it at home. That's what the soldiers would have done. I don't have one on mine now, but I'll probably do it in my next one. Here we got my tank top. Wear that under everything. So you would have seen sweaters. I should have gotten a sweater, but I mean, it wasn't always seen. Got my boxers. These things are the most uncomfortable things after the first event. I realized how uncomfortable they are. They just like crumple up, and you know, they're just uncomfortable. And I have 2 pairs of socks. I let my dad borrow a pair, and they're being washed right now. Here we got my leather palm gloves. I got these for like $2 on eBay. It was a steal. I wore these. They're kind of hard to shoot with them, so I only wore them for when we were doing like a presentation thing. Got my scarf. I used my gas mask bag to carry my cold weather stuff. So in here we got another Jeep cap. Here we got my at the front cartridge belt. You've all seen that. You know, standard cartridge belt. Non-economy. Got my bayonet. This is the non-economy one either. It's the nicest one. Got my canteen cover, cup, and stuff. Canteen and cup are original 43 and 44, and the cover is repro. And then we got my 24 first aid pouch. Got my bandolier with the cardboard inserts right here. Got my 36 suspenders. Non-economy. Got my USA made musette bag, and that has all the correct contents in it. Yeah, a bunch of stuff. This is the shelter half. And then just like I took this out, just my ditty bag. Just carry my sewing kit, comb, shaving thing, soap, gum, toilet paper. It's crappy. I made the toilet paper. Yeah, but yeah, guys. And then just my ammo crate and some other uniforms up there, and another helmet. But besides that, that's pretty much it. That's my Battle of the Bulge stuff. Bütgenbach gear. So yeah, guys. Sorry I didn't make a video, and remember, comment, rate, subscribe, and hopefully I'll be making more videos soon. Bye.